selection committee of Donal, Lenihan, Eddie O'Sullivan and Bernard Jackman have come up with this. How many Irish? 4 Irish. Tight head, Tadhg Furlong, Tadhg Byrne in the pack, and then we have Johnny Sexton. What a season he's had, and Robbie Henshaw again, like just getting better by the looks of things. Now, how did you work this out? Because this was old school, I suppose. Bernard, will you explain the MO here?
Well, I was the youngest, and the lads bullied me into their selections. No, look, we picked 3 teams and then tried to work out, what was common. Tipperick's very unlucky. Tipperick's very unlucky, I think. He's been outstanding in this competition. But Tom Curry is an unbelievable athlete. And there was a lot of debate around 9, but I think Gareth Davies is a big game player, and they were the ones that, I suppose, for me, that were probably most contentious.
What about Mako Vunipola? You were giving out about him half the programme.
I think he's still an outstanding... Tadhg Furlong had his number last weekend, but I still think in terms of loose heads, in terms of being an all-round scrummager and ball carrier, he's a world-class player. OK. Was there talk about a bit of a dispute about the wings as well? Duan van der Merwe was suggested.
Yeah, I think if I was playing South Africa, I'd like Duan van der Merwe. He's a big beast and he's hard to put down, and he's that type of player against a team like South Africa. You'd have to consider him. But having said that, I can see the other side of it in terms of some of these calls are very tight. The one that I would have the big bake about is the James Ryan. I would actually have James Ryan in. And
rather than Alan Wynne-Jones?
Yeah, and I'd probably make him captain as well, because I think he's that material. I think a Lions tour would suit him. I'm not saying Alan Wynne-Jones, he's been a fantastic player, but I think Ryan brings something different from fresh in that. So I know the lads were leaning to Alan Wynne-Jones because of his experience and his captaincy, but I would rather go with Ryan. I'd roll the dice with Ryan. OK,
Donal, you were in the Wynne-Jones camp. Explain.
Well, look, the bottom line is you're only going to beat South Africa with using the 23 players. I think James Ryan, a toss of a coin between James Ryan and Alan Wynne-Jones. Firstly, you've got to have a captain. You've got to pick someone as captain. And for me, Alan Wynne-Jones has that status. He's a leader, a born leader. He's been on 3 Lions tours. You look at South Africa, you heard about the bomb squad they used throughout the World Cup. They had 6 forwards on the bench, so they were bringing on people like R.G. Snyman. So I think the Lions are going to have big men to bring in, and I would be replacing Alan Wynne-Jones 5-10 minutes into the second half with the likes of a James Ryan. James Ryan will definitely go on the Lions tour. I think Ian Henderson will go on the Lions tour. Conor Murray will probably make it as well. But look, these things are all subjective. Things change overnight when you're due to injury, form, and that's the way Lions teams go.
Louis Rees-Zammit, thanks, Donal. I want to mention him because to me he looks like physically he's put on about half a stone of muscle in the last 6 weeks. He's breaking tackles now as well as the pace.
Well, he's a finisher, and you need guys like that can produce a moment in a big game. Like Lions tours, like have all iconic moments where some guy just pulls one out and scores, and he has that capacity, the pace on the hard ground. If it's played in South Africa, he's a guy you want to get the ball in his hands. There will be space from. I think physically he's not as big as maybe you'd like, but I think he'll still match up in that area. I just think he's one of these guys that finishes out moves by scoring. He can manage to get it down in the corner, and they're game changers in big test games.
Yeah, let's